Hello and welcome back to another episode of National Busways West Scotland here in City Bus Manager. That feels like it should be the other way round. But yeah, it's been a few days since I've played, and you may notice the loan situation. It's awfully like we're gearing up to make a major investment. That's because we are. We're going to build a new route, and it's going to be, aside from like the 30, which is the big loop, our first mainline route. And it is going to be the 51, Glasgow to Drumchapel. Why 51? I've got a sort of scheme in plan. So the main route that goes up the Great Western Road here will be the 5, and because this sort of does like kind of a 5 but then it does a different thing, it's the 51. Should make sense by the end of things. It also takes a bit more of a circuitous route out of Glasgow. So we're going to go from, let's go with stance 31 at Buchanan. Let's see, can we go that way? Yes. Oh, that's because it thinks it's there. No. So if we can go there, can we then go there? Yes, we can. So if we go that way. No, wait. We actually want to go that way, then that way. I know how this goes. So we're just going to go along and follow kind of the C1 and the C2. Do we go up Theatre Royal? Yes, we do. And then we join the Great Western Road. So, time-lapse time. I'll see you in a bit. And there is the new Route 51 from Glasgow to Drumchapel. This circuit in Drumchapel is quite long, so there's probably going to be like a 51A that just does the circular bit in the other direction. And who knows, there could be some more stuff around Drumchapel to sort of better connect that area up, because it's quite large. And there's a lot there, so I think it would be worth it. But this is quite the route for, you know, just a sort of out and back suburban circular. But then again, Glasgow sort of lends itself to these long routes, so you know, it's quite realistic as well. Glasgow's got loads of long bus routes. And, you know, this is sort of less realistic in the sense that it only goes as far as Glasgow Central. Well, Buchanan, but, you know, same thing. So let's have it be... It's going to be every 12 minutes throughout the day, or every 12 to 10. Yeah, we're going to need a lot of buses. That was anticipated though, so... So, you know the drill. I will see you on the other side of this timetable creation nonsense. No time lapse, because this is not really the most enthralling thing to watch, and I can explain it in a couple minutes at the end, so I will see you after a very quick fade to black. So, timetable, very quick. It's very simple to do these timetables when, you know, you're only doing two variants of it, the Monday to Saturday and the Sunday, rather than the Saturday getting its own whole timetable. So it's, you know, we're dividing it at this stop that's currently called Glasgow Road, Kirkhope Drive. And that's going to, I'm just going to call that Drumchapel Station, or even just Drumchapel. And, it's, yeah, you know, simple route, out and back, as you were. It's significantly shorter on the way back in, a good, what, 10 minutes quicker? Yeah, 10 minutes quicker on the way back in, because I've put the bulk of the circuit on the outbound run. So, you know, we'll see how that affects things, and I may do like a 51A that goes the other way. We will see. It would make sense to, at least. So, let's check it in easy mode. We will need at least 13 for tomorrow, where frequencies are lower. Activate bus route later. Which is all well and good, because I did a bunch of depot expansion off camera. You know, we've not used our full sort of, you know, we've got another expansion left, and we're not using this sort of super efficiently at the moment. There's going to be a lot of expansion of the office facilities and break rooms and whatnot. So, you know, there's a lot more we can get at Polmedy Garage. But as things stand, this is, you know, we're getting a lot of buses for our space here. So, let's buy the buses that will run our service, our 51. And we're going to need more than 10. But we're going to get ALX400s on the DAF DB250LF. Firing up my spreadsheet, because I've already got regs for 24 of them. And this is where we break the timeline a bit. You remember from the early days of Southern Vectis, there was no timeline. Well, there is kind of a timeline now, it's just very, very loose. So yeah, there's going to be the DA type for DAF Alexander. And I think this looks great. I think this looks absolutely beautiful. There's a bit of a thing there, and the same there, and then there's like this happening here, which isn't great. But it's not, you know, it's not too bad. The bus looks alright. So these are going to be the DA class, and they're going to be R reg, which actually means these will be some of the oldest low-floor buses in the country. And I did have plans to make a special livery to sort of advertise the fact that they're low floor. We'll put these next to the orange arrows for now. But I forgot about that when I hit record. Where are these buses at? Where are they parking? You go over here. You go over there. You go there. Where have they gone? Oh, they like to park on that row. That's fun. But I don't want them to park on that row. So, let's get them all lined up. And we're going to need more of these. 10 won't cut it, not even for Sunday. That should be all of the first 10 though. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lovely. Now let's buy some more. How many more can we afford? We can afford another 5. Hopefully that's going to be enough. There they are. And we'll fill in from that side as well. Why are you going over there? This is going to take so long. I'll just let these park themselves wherever, and then I can sort of play whack-a-mole. Or, well, rather than trying to play whack-a-mole with them as they come in. I think that's all of them. There's a line of them there, and then... Yes, that is all of them. Very, very nice. So these are going to be R532LGG. Next is fleet numbers. DA. Again for DAF Alexander. And finally, DA15. Aren't these all lovely? And of course I need to change the fleet numbers so that I can see them. And also what I'm going to do, as I'm changing these, get these into a new vehicle group for the DA type. DA type, DA type, DA type. And then going backwards, let's actually do these properly. These are the PO Glasgow blinds. PO being Polmedy's garage code. Here we go. So these ones are gonna say LF. Maybe Glasgow's first /N low floor buses. Yeah, Glasgow's first. Yeah, you see? That's fun. It's a bit cramped in there, but you know, it works. So now I'm going to go into the 51. Well, first take that route's hex code. And then I'm going to activate and edit the timetable to prefer the DA class vehicles. Wonderful. And, oh, nothing's assigned yet. Wonderful. And we are short several DA types for the Sunday service. This has gone well. Although, no, that's not going to work. If I can at least move the sort of moment at which if I can move the uh-oh moment back as far as possible by doing that, then I will. That, and then that should go there. We've got this one that needs, like, assigning pretty early. Which is not great. This is fun. I mean, I could always put Sataras on it, but I don't want to do that for the first day, because that's really, really bad form. I do that, and then that. That's very few shifts cancelled. There you go, now there's only one that's looking to be cancelled. I don't want this to be the sort of service that falls apart as the day progresses. Oh, hello. It won't be. However, we need to be very quick on getting buses together for Monday, because that's going to be the real test. West Fleet, how many brokens? 2 marshals and a renown. Interesting that the renowns keep breaking. We're not going to have the same kind of law-driven moratorium on renowns as we do the marshals, because, I mean, they're renowns. And in real life, they are very, very reliable machines, the renowns. These marshals weren't. These marshals, you know, they were known for their tendency to self-combust. Which is why we've started buying these things. Aren't they lovely? And these ALXs, well, they're ALXs, you know. They're lovely. That's flickering. They're not flickering on the front or the sides, just the back. I cannot time jump because there's a marshal in the workshop. So I will cut to black and I will see you, well, when the 51 starts. It is the start of service on a Sunday. We are on the first bus, the 05:15:51 from Buchanan, out through central Glasgow and up to Drumchapel. So let's see how we do. Already busy, very busy. Let's put this down to 2 times speed, because the game freaks out sometimes. Okay, we're doing really good numbers for this time on a Sunday, actually. This is quite good, this is quite impressive. And now we're sort of on the bit of the route where it's just the 51. We're not doing too bad, not doing too bad. I assume the inbound runs will be busier in the morning. Although this game does have a tendency of getting the directions wrong. Don't know how it works out which way is inbound, which way is outbound, but it's certainly not a flawless calculation. Okay, this is going quite well. This is going quite well. Is it the busiest route in the world? No. But is it doing well enough? Absolutely. Okay, that was the first run done. And this is going to be much, much busier by the looks of things. "25 on board from Drumchapel. 24, 25, 21. Okay. Well, there's a lot of people getting on and off, so, you know. Just because these people aren't going all the way in, you know. Those short distance tickets are still revenue. Although, as we found out when we launched the 30, normal distance tickets are significantly more revenue. But this is decent loading, this is actually quite good. And then into Glasgow Central. Well, Central Glasgow. I don't know how you refer to the city centre of Glasgow. Okay. That's not bad, that's not bad. And then into Buchanan bus station. Lovely. Yep, it's recording profit already. I think it's safe to say the 51 was a good investment. So, yeah. That's the 51. Now the challenge is surviving Monday. Because we got through Sunday just on a frequency of 15 minutes. Although there are some quite long, there's quite a long stand at Drumchapel of about 10 minutes, which doesn't exist during the weekday timetable. So, we'll see. And there will of course be more local services around Drumchapel, because just look at this area, it's full of stuff. Like, loads of little housing estates that you could run, like, solos and stuff into. That's the idea, anyway. I think it's too big to do a mini-links type thing with the Mellors, but also the Mellors are way, way too modern for this at the moment. For better or worse. Let's have a look back in at the garage. We have plenty of these sitting around. Although what I'm going to do is go back into the map view, and I'm going to rename this stop to Drumchapel. And then I'm going to rename the other end to Glasgow. Glasgow and Buchanan. There you go. We got our first route into Buchanan bus station. The C1 doesn't count because it sort of goes around it. But we have our first route actually into Buchanan bus station. I nearly sent the 51 down the Great Western Road, like just straight up, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted it to be a bit more local than that, hence why it goes down this road, which is also quite a major road. But it's, you know, not the main artery that the Great Western is. These ALXs next to the Citaras is like, it's hard to believe that only a few years separates them. The Citara just looks so much more modern. I don't think we will make Monday's allocation in the slightest. Like, not at all. Like, it is not happening. Which is fun. Now, I am aware that the ALX400 was not the first low-floor double-decker. I believe that was the Optare Spectra, but that was also on the DAF DB250. And heck, for all I know, they may have been at around the same time. Because the DB250, I believe, was around before it went low-floor, and in the early days, hence why I called it the DB250LF. There was a low-floor variant of the DB250, but that's just my understanding. It's probably different. I'm aware that I've sort of trailed off, and I've gone quite quiet. And the service centre is anything but. Jeez. You know what, maybe we need a website. We don't have the money, and we need what money we do get to fund more DAFs. More DA class buses. Partially because they're gorgeous, and partially because we need them. Mostly because we need them. But they are gorgeous. Ooh, what goes this way? I feel like this is also interesting. Like down here and then along to... What is down here? What's this? Yoka. Probably mispronouncing that, but... Hey ho. I've already had a few pronunciations called out to me. I mean, Polmedy is deceptively difficult for me as a southerner, as an English southerner. It's deceptive. So what I'm thinking for the low floor livery, if we just have a look at this beautiful bus right here, is to invert the swoosh so that it goes down towards the front doors, or to paint the entire bus orange, get rid of the landau thing, but use the sort of knife edge on the landau pointing down to sort of... Because a lot of the early low-floor buses, to advertise that they were low-floor, put a big down arrow on the side to roughly the level of the floor. But I'm not too sure. It's something I'm going to think about and eventually get a paint shop to fix. This garage is just becoming a bus enthusiast happy place. We've got darts, we've got ALXs, we've got Citaros and Renowns. This is my sort of bus scene. Granted, I only went on my first Renown like last year, but you know, I enjoyed it a lot. And also, Plaxton Pointers weren't really part of my childhood, which is an odd thing to say given how common they were. You know, like the E400 or E400, no, like the E200 or hate it, the the Plaxton Pointer was the E200 of its day. And yet, these weren't part of my childhood at all. These are significantly closer. Oh, hello. There's a bus. Very nice. Very nice. And very nice. Although the clipping is happening there, that's not great. We can afford another bus, which, you know what, we're gonna do. We have to do it. No passenger information system. This is just a regular bus. Oh, the license plate that it's given it already starts with R. I like that. I wonder if the game knew. So this is DA16, which I've put in the system as R547LGG. R547. Ooh. R547LGG. The fleet number is DA16. Set in white. With the Polmedy blind set. And it's a member of the DA type vehicle group. Maybe I should have made the National Busways lock-up a little bit smaller on the front there, it's a bit obnoxious. It's fine on the back though, I like that size on the back. But it's just a bit much on the front. Maybe that can be a DA thing and the rest can have it sort of fixed. Or maybe it's these just early R-Reg DAs, you know? Like, you know, like a little visual thing that differentiates the RLGG batch from the rest of the ALXs. We shall see how I develop this into the story. I could make this one of those sorts of things. Or I could not. It is time to allocate for Monday. And I guess we will do Monday. Me, cut to black, please. Right, bring me back. It's Monday morning, and this is the first 51 out to Drum Chapel. It's, you know, it's doing fine. This is the first bus of the morning. I would expect it to be fine. However, yikes on this lag. Yikes on this lag. This is... City saves do this, you know? There's just so many buses out on the road that it's doing so many simultaneous calculations about sort of where buses are and how many people are on them and where they're going to be next frame, that you do get these massive hitches. And this is not my computer being slow. My computer is not slow. Nothing special, but it's also not slow. So, you know. Okay. There goes the bus. There goes that 0542 or 0543. That's the second bus of the day from Drumchapel, which means we're on the third. Which is not bad. I mean, they perhaps start a little late. But who knows, maybe we'll come up with something that allows people to get to Drumchapel at, say, 3 AM rather than 5. You know? You get my gist? Unless I introduce that sort of service on the south coast first. Well, technically it'll be introduced here first in the timeline anyway, because South Coast is happening like in the 2010s, whereas this is happening in the sort of around 2000 sort of ish. And time will slowly move on, just sort of not particularly linearly. Yeah, these 51s are running quite busy. That's actually very impressive. Ooh, that's in the red. Okay, this route's going to be an absolute gangbusters earner. A money spinner, if you will. Let's see what the garage looks like. We've got these 3 ALXs left. That's going out at 11:35. That one's going out at 11:50, and that one's going out at 12. So I mean, ideally we want another 8 DA class vehicles to run the 51 with, and perhaps we run DA class vehicles on the 51A so that it's, well, that way I guess, so that it's sort of even. But then again, we could run like Marshalls or Darts or something on it. I'm very scatterbrained, if you could not tell. There's just so many possibilities, and this is doing fabulously. This is actually doing really, really well. The 51 has been an absolutely breathtaking success. Buses are busy, and they get full briefly. At, like, you know, early peak, and I assume it will be late peak as well, yeah. Coming down through Kelvin Bridge, they get really, really busy. But, you know, that I would expect. And, like, everything in Glasgow Central is rammed. But that's because it's Glasgow Central, you know? I almost wonder if it would be appropriate to extend the C1 down. Maybe to Pollock Shields? That feels alright. And just, like, it terminated Buchanan still. But maybe it goes to Pollock Shields. That's an idea. Because, like, the C2 and the rest of what I have sort of ideas-wise for the Red Arrows is that they serve inner Glasgow neighbourhoods rather than just the city centre. So, you know, I think that there's a lot we can do with Glasgow. That goes without saying. So, the 51 is, again, the 51 is coping quite well with demand. I wasn't expecting to see double running between the 51 and the C2. That's a little bit disappointing, but oh well. I was hoping that they would be a little bit more evenly spaced out, but it's buses, what can you do? Well, change the timetable, but, you know, that's details. Yeah, central Glasgow, really, really busy. There's, you know, there's yellow, red, and, well, yellow, orange, and red going on, even though it's midday. But we are making very, very good money. So on that note, and with a beautiful view of class leader DA1, I will see you next week in Glasgow. Bye bye.